today we are here to do some commercial carping. This is a venue that was probably one of the first ever commercial fisheries, which started right back in the early 90s. I'm here today. I'm going to be fishing a couple of lines today. I'm going to be feeding lots of pellets. I've got some corn. I'm going to be fishing the method, and I'm also going to be fishing the bomb as well. However, we found out that yesterday morning that the fish were showing signs that they were starting to spawn. So there are lots of fish in the margins, but I'm sure there's still going to be plenty of fish feeding. We're here today at the fantastic Fleets Dam. Now the baits that I'm going to be using today really are just pellets and corn. I haven't mixed any ground bait. I'm going to be loose feeding some 8mm pellets. These are just quite simply hard carp and coarse pellets from Bait Tech. I'm going to be feeding those at about 20 metres. I'm not going to go out too far. They're obviously going to be nice. They're going to be going in with a nice plop. I can vary how often I actually feed that line, so I'm going to be loose feeding those at about 20 metres, and I can fish a bomb over the top of that, and I can also drop the method feeder on that as well. And that might be a line that I need to build up over the course of the session. I have got some corn. I don't expect to be using it other than on the hook. I can obviously loose feed that on the 20-metre line as well if I feel they're wanting corn, so that is an option. And then the other main bait is micro pellets or 2mm pellets. These are the Ringers ones. They're fine. I've soaked them down. They only take a couple of minutes to soak, and then I'm going to have those in the tub next to me, and I'm going to be going through various different glugs and goos. These are ones that I've just been trying out, ones that I've made up on my own, so I'm just going to be trying those just to see if they make any difference. I've also got some boilie crush. I'm going to be trying that within the micro pellets as well, just to see if that gives any sort of attraction. As you can see, that's the yellow one, so that's the boilie crush I'm going to be trying. And I've obviously, as you'd expect, got a variety of hook baits as well, wafters, boilies. There are one or two pop-ups in there and some washout boilies, and I've also got some hard banded pellets, different sizes that I can rotate. Like I mentioned, the fish are showing signs of spawning, so the carp might not actually feed today. If that is the case, then I might need to just scale things back a little bit and target bream, but I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm sure we're still going to catch a few carp. So I'll take you down to the peg and I'll show you the rods and the approach. Well, as you can see, it's very much an open water peg, and to give you an idea of the width here, halfway is about, looking at it, I think it's about 45 to 50 metres maximum, so that is halfway, so that's the maximum range I can actually cast. I'm going to be loose feeding at 20 metres, but then out in the open water is where I'm going to target initially with the method feeder. I'm just going to start on 10-minute casts and just see what happens from there. I'm going to rotate the various different goos and the liquids that I've got, and obviously the hook baits as well. So I'm going to start out there, and then for the first hour or so I'm just going to build up that shorter 20-metre line. That's a carp on the third cast. First cast, I didn't get anything, didn't even get any liners or anything like that. Second cast, I put some of this yellow goo on. Look, I haven't even got a name for it yet, but I had a bream, and then I've gone out on another cast. It's only been in 3 minutes, and I've got the first carp. It's in fantastic condition, beautiful fish, not a big fish, 4 pound, fighting fit, incredibly good condition, beautiful fish. That was only in 3 minutes. So that's 2 fish on the yellow goo that I'm using. So next cast I'm going to have a cast without the goo on, just see if it makes any difference, see whether we catch fish or whether we don't. Might spot on pattern, but that's good. 3 casts, 2 fish on that long line. I'm still feeding that 20-metre line. I'm going to stay out there on the method keep building up that short line, and while I'm catching out there long, I can experiment with these different hook baits, different goos and stuff that I'm using, and then in about an hour I'm going to go on that 20-metre line and see if there are any fish there. Well, the feeder that I'm using today is just, this one's actually 30 gram that I've got on at the moment, but it's just an open method feeder. Free running, it's got to be free running to comply with fishery rules. That's pretty much the case on most venues now, but that's ideal. That, you know, you can obviously you can load that as shallow as you wish. You could load it as shallow as the actual profile of the feeder itself, or you can actually mount it on top. So just a really nice simple method feeder. That's all I'm using on that long line. I'm not fishing clipped up today, so I'm just tackling it out there. It's about 40 metres, I would say. I have got a little bit room past that to go further out if I wish, but I'm not going to put any goo on this time. I keep calling it goo. I haven't got a name for it. I will get a name for it. Glug, goo, will come up with a name. So all I'm doing, I've caught on a yellow. It's a yellow, which one is it, this one? This is the, that's the, oh, it's an all sorts. This one's an all sorts wafter, 10mm. So it's a nice big up bait. I want to put this back out to where I caught that last fish and just see if we get a fish without any of that glug on it. The wind's got up quite a bit now, but it's actually off our backs, so it's not hindering us in any way. It's making it a little bit tricky trying to make sure I'm feeding that 20-metre line accurately every time, because it keeps gusting. Got to be careful. Every now and then a few pellets go a lot further than what you want them to. I'm going to keep them pellets going in on that line. I can try a bomb on that short line, but I can also, you can probably see the wind blowing now. Just trying to gauge the right range as the wind's gusting. I could drop a method on that 20-metre line, but I can also drop a bomb on it as well. So the bomb rig has got a hook length on it about 1 foot long, so that's slightly different presentation from the method. But that's the beauty of that line. I can experiment. Sometimes one might be far better than the other. I'm going to stick on this now, keep building up that line, but hopefully we're going to catch a few more fish on this method. Well, I've just had a cast without any sort of any of this glug on the feeder, and I didn't get a sign. I'm not clipped up, so you know, I wouldn't have been bang on the same spot where I caught those other 2 fish, but it was thereabouts the same sort of area. I've just cast back out now. I'm slack lining a little bit, as you could probably see from the tip. There is quite a bit of tow on it actually, as you can imagine. When it's windy like this, there's a bit of tow on it. It's not a really strong tip anyway, this, but there is a bit of tow, so it does keep bending around every now and then. But there are fish cruising about. Like I said, there are fish spawning up these margins. You see now it's bent round now, as you can see. There are fish cruising about all over. Obviously, well, the minds are on other things at the minute, but all these margins keep erupting. There are fish here, but there are fish cruising about as well. So I'm slack lining just because I don't want to be seeing all those indications from line bites and things and risk anything like that, or any hookups on fish kind of dislodging the feeder or anything. So I'm just slack lining. It's a self-hooking way of fishing this anyway, obviously, with a method. So when they're on, you know, you just see them run. So I'm just keeping it a nice slack line. So this is the first cast back on, back out with the goo on, or the glug. I'll get a name for it, and we'll see if that makes any difference. I've still got the 10mm yellow all sort wafter on. Now, before I whack this bomb out there and find out if there are any carp waiting for us, I'll just show you the free running bomb that I'm using. You can't use elasticated feeders or anything like that on this venue. It's got to be free running, so that's exactly what I've got. A nice 20 gram free running bomb. So I'm just going to flick that. I mean, that's a bomb that I can change anyway. It's got the quick change system on there, so I can step that up or step that down, or I could even clip a feeder on if I wish, you know, if this presentation isn't working. So I'm going to start off with an 8mm pellet, banded pellet, and let's see if there's any fish out there waiting for us. Well, I deliberately haven't fed this line now for about 6 or 7 minutes, and that's because I'm hoping that because I haven't fed it, that they're waiting for the next lot of free pellets going in, and hopefully it means they're going to snap up my hook bait quicker. All I'm putting on the hook is exactly the same pellet that I'm feeding, so it's an 8mm Carp and coarse pellet, a hard one. Hook length's about 1 foot long, and I've just got the pellet mounted on a hair. Well, it's on a band, so I'll just try and gauge exactly where that feed's been going in. We'll see if we get a reaction. I mean, if there are fish there, I fully expect to get 1 or 2 liners as well. But I've been building this line up now for an hour and a half. It's not going to be a long session today, and that's why I've got on this line as quick as I have. Normally in a match I probably would have stayed out on the method feeder a little bit longer because I was still getting 1 or 2 indications out there. I haven't seen anyone else catch out there, to be honest. So it's not really saying that there are a lot of fish out in that open water. These margins are alive with fish at the moment, spawning. But hopefully there's going to be 1 or 2 on that 20-metre line where they've been used to those pellets going in. So I'm still going to feed the line while I'm actually fishing it, because I think that constant plopping of the pellets going in is a massive attractor to inquisitive fish, whether they're feeding or not. I think it just, you know, it does attract their attention. I've got to admit, this one caught me a little bit off guard. Absolutely, you know, pull the rod in. It kited right down to the right, and then under this bank as well. I could feel it grating against all sorts. I don't know if the branch is down there underneath that tree, but I've got it back so it's in front of me. Feels a good fish. Again, back on the glug. But this one I actually dropped it on that bomb line where I've been loose feeding pellets. I haven't had an indication at all on the bomb and pellet on that line, but I just thought I'd try it, so I just dropped the method feeder. I kept a 30 grammer on as well, so it went in with a nice crash, and it's only been in 6 minutes. Shuffler, first scoop. Let's get him on the spreader block. Beautiful fish. It's a lovely double, that one. I need to check that rig as well once I've unhooked it, because I just want to make sure that the line and everything wasn't damaged when it went down into that snag down to my right. But all the rig looks alright, but I need to check the line. That's right in the bottom lip, right in the middle. Pop that on the rig, on the rod, because I don't want to ruin my rig. That's a lovely double, that. Beautiful fish. Well, that's the biggest one today anyway. Again, it was on a 10mm, all sorts wafter, size 10 hook, so a nice big hook, nice size to fit the hook bait. Lovely hook up, just rip the rod off the rest. And that is what this fishery is all about. There are loads of fish like that in this venue, loads of them. That's how they rack up the big weights. Beautiful fish. Let's pop him back, see if we can catch some more. That's another heavy fish. I don't know what that one is, probably got to be £6 I think. Some lovely line of scales down it. Caught on that 20-metre line again with a method feeder over that bomb line. And there haven't really been any carp caught just here. There are loads of fish in these rushes, so that's really affected the fishing. But that's the time of year, and this is happening on lots of different venues at the moment. That's what happens when the fish are spawning. Another lovely fish. Still got lots of energy left in him, but that's the kind of stamp of fish you get on here, and that's how they rack up the great weights, you know. Another beautiful fish. Let's pop him back. Well, I've just had a quick look on Facebook, and it's amazing how many fisheries up and down the country are actually reporting that fish are actually spawning all over the place. That's what happens when you get fantastic weather like this, and when you're targeting carp, it can make things a little bit tougher, and that's what we've seen today. But it's been very rewarding. We've had to work for the fish that we've caught, but it's been thoroughly enjoyable. It's been great to get back here to one of the original commercial fisheries that goes right back to the early 90s really, so it's been a great session. Hope you've enjoyed having a look at this fishery. Hope you've enjoyed following me through the session. If you have, please give this a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe just there. And if you'd like to see more tuition coaching style videos, up to 10 extra videos a month, have a look at my other channel just there, Patron TV. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.